Hey guys. Yep, after months of hype, the Zero Grizis is finally here, and I'll tell you this right at the top. If you like Zoids, you can stop watching and just go buy one of these, because yeah, it really is that good. It's an instant classic, and it absolutely lives up to the hype. That's the short version. If you want to know more though, this video contains my usual routine of an unboxing, comparisons to other Zoids, and of course I've got some action footage. I also filmed myself building this because it's an interesting build and because the Zoid is kind of a big deal, but I'll save that for a separate video. This one's too long as it is, plus editing build footage always takes me forever, and I really wanted to get this review up as soon as possible, so let's just get to it.
Robo Shop.
Alright, so the first thing to notice, of course, is that to the surprise of absolutely no one, this is a really big box. As usual, have to move the camera away from the desk actually to even be able to get this all in the shot. But let's take a look here. First thing, I'm sure you've seen the box art before. It's been published at this point to get people hyped up because it looks really cool. It's also kind of unusual that it's more sort of a portrait shot showing off the blast mode instead of an actual picture showing the Zoid in its entirety. They usually, you know how usually the whole Zoid is on the box art. Yeah, nothing unusual here. We have the stats here. The spider diagram tells us that it's excellent at all but one thing. I don't know, maybe number 6 is being small, who knows. Also, I'm noticing for the first time that there's an IQ listed here. Never noticed that before. Weird. Well, I also don't really look at the text because I can't read Japanese, right? Battle story here, an image with additional weapons here. There's that's pretty cool. There's slots actually for another gun on each one of the tail segments. And here we have it firing off what I'm sure is absolutely not a CPC that can level entire cities. How's that for an obscure reference? On this side, nothing out of the ordinary. And on this side, yeah, hold on. Oops, cut this preferably without stabbing myself in the finger. And flip it. Yeah, I can't get this in the shot not upside down, but I mean, it's the parts bag and then in regular mode and blast mode, and it shows you what moves. So very much a standard Zoids Wild box. This side has the usual ad for the anime and a little more art here. Yeah, and that's it really. So let's get this guy out of the box. I can't wait anyway. Okay, so first off, instructions. Let's take a look with the knife of knifing. In case you're wondering, by the way, I can't really show this to you, but the box is absolutely packed. Not a whole lot of air in there. So here are the building instructions. I'm sure there's nothing too unusual here. Yeah. First page folds out, parts list. Actually put this in the shop here. Here, that's the parts list, looking like a lot of parts. We have the general building instructions. We have what the motor does and how to put the batteries in, and then building instructions as usual, slightly color-coded. Yeah, there's a lot of pages. And then it just, it shows you how to turn it on and what it does, and where the stickers go, which, by the way, if you see here, in case I forget to look at the sticker sheet again, we've got the Empire symbol here, and the usual markings, same as on the Zero Fantoff. Yeah, and here's the art from the box, and really that's it. Of course, nothing too out of the ordinary, but we didn't expect that. Now, parts. Big, huge, giant S bag. The B bag is surprisingly small, I have to say. And that's because everything is in the A bag. Holy cow. Okay. Well, I'm not sure yeah, B is just weapons and A is everything else. I guess because the Zero Grizis is just bone mode. That would also explain, actually, why the Zero Phantoth doesn't really have armor. I guess the whole idea with these Zero Zoids is that they're just skeletons. Anyway, let's take a look at the gearbox or gearboxes. No, it's just one. Here we go. Big, huge, giant contraption. I think. Now, yeah. Here's the switch. So it goes like this. This is where the batteries go. We've got this that moves up and down. This rotates. So this is where the weapon goes. And the pilot seats. This. And these rotating pegs for attaching the legs, which means there's probably going to be some weird and different mechanism for the legs again, like on the big one whose name escapes me right now, which is why I'm putting it there. And these probably move back and forth. I'm guessing this is what does like the arm movement. Yeah, let's actually start with the small stuff. I also don't know how I'm going to do this afterwards. So here we have, this is of course the weapon. It's a clear part. This is, looks like drives the leg movement. Genospino, that was the name I was looking for. The crank pieces for the legs, the second one for the legs. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, this is gonna rotate and this is gonna go around it or something. We'll see, we'll see. I'm filming myself building this one, so. More clear parts for the gun. Here we have the sticker sheet, which I've now already kind of shown you, so. I think this is the exact same one as the Zero Phantoth. Here are the eyes. And purple caps, also like the Zero Phantoth. Right, let's crack open the A bag. No point procrastinating. Holy crap, there's so much stuff in here. It goes to 6. This is Careza. It's like the good old days. Okay, so first of all, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6. This is what we got. And I am going to have to take these parts out of the bag and put them back in, because otherwise there's no way I can get all this stuff on camera in a way where you guys can even see what the heck I'm doing. It's bad enough there's such a mess here. All right, so number 1 is just the torso halves. Let's take a look. I think this is how it stands upright. You've got your usual rib detail here. Lots of, oh, this is cool. Check this out. It's got a Xenebus symbol molded into the part. That's awesome. That is so cool. All right, tubes on the back here, pistons. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's silver plastic, so there's going to be marbling. Like here, you probably can't see this on camera because it's reflective. And there's going to be marbling that's just unavoidable. But I have to say, like, the sheen is pretty nice. Not sure how well this is showing up on camera. You'll probably just have to take my word for it. But it does look pretty good. Number the 2nd. There we go. What's in here? Okay, this is actually a Zoid that's so big and complex that I'm not sure what I'm even looking at here. It's a really cool armor piece that probably goes on the neck or something, very angular looking, which by the way, actually is true. Like these ribs are they're like totally rectangular if you look at them from this angle. Cool. More ribs and more, and an armor piece with a piston sticking out. Second one of these. This looks like, I don't know, this is the beginning of the tail. This is funny. Like the king Gojulus has a part just like this. I mean that like fits on the bottom of the torso, and then the tail attaches to it. Although I don't think it goes around the leg, the leg crank. Okay, it's another one of these armor pieces. Number the third. Okay. Wow. The feet are huge. Okay. Boom. And boom. Check this out. Okay, so let's take a look here. If I'm making you look at my ugly ass cutting mat, I might as well use it for something. The feet are exactly 15 centimeters long. That is probably not coincidence. And they have super nice detail. You know, these studs on top here. The claws are segmented. There's these round screw type-ish things here. And then we have the hands, which sadly are all one piece. I was kind of hoping the thumb would be separate, but still, nice detail. There's the second hand, and that is the lower jaw. And of course, by the way, they have a lot of the parts have these purple stripes pre-painted on them. Forgot to mention that with the previous armor pieces, but I'm sure that doesn't come as a surprise at this point. The Zero Fantoth had the same thing going on. He says, digging for a parts bag. Number 4, is that right? Yeah, that's what we're on. Notice how I've already abandoned my plan of putting the parts back in the bags. Oh, look, these are like regular light plastic. Okay, these I am going to put these back in the bag. Okay, this looks like it's probably a mechanical part for the leg, which also means, as I feared, there's actually no knee joint. It's just jointed at the foot. More mechanical pieces, another Xenibus symbol molded into the part here. Looks really nice though, pistons and rotating discs and screws. Not that they actually rotate, but all over the place. Here's another inside mechanical piece with these pistons that it has sticking out all over the place. Apparently there's a TIE fighter built into it somewhere. This would have to be the mechanical pieces that drive the arm movement. If I had to guess, it's another... There's a ton of parts here where really I have to say, looking at them, I have no idea where they're going to go. And that's good. That's good. Should be an interesting build. More mechanical stuff. This has detail. This is now a Star Wars land speeder, apparently. Oh, looks like the Zero Grizis went to a galaxy far, far away and ate a couple of vehicles. If I find a Millennium Falcon, I'll let you guys know. Okay. Part bag number 5. So, I am just talking while I'm getting this stuff out of the bag so I don't have to make a jump cut. Okay, more armor. Wow. This has like little cooling fans on the side here. This is the very tip of the tail. Oh yeah, these are tail pieces. More armor. This is a bit more round. Another Xenibus symbol molded into it. This goes on the legs. Cooling cooling grill here, cooling grill here, tons of detail. So yeah, tail, more cooling fans. And these are the tail segments. All looking very, very King G. Very King G is that what I think. No, we already looked at that. See, this is why I should put the parts back in the bag. Yeah, more tail. Yeah, so this is all the tail pieces. We put those to the side here because I am at the last of the A bags, yeah. Which contains the arms, apparently. Oh, arms and the head, okay. Wow, so much stuff. Awesome. Okay, so anyway, head looks small, which is good because we don't want Death Rex cartoon proportions. Okay, I'm putting this back in the bag as I discuss it. There's the other half of the head. There's an arm. Yeah, as per usual, I mean, tons of nice detail, but no joint, so you win some, you lose some, I guess. There's the other arm. This is some sort of mechanical piece, which, I mean, probably to do with the arm movement if it's in the same bag, right? Another one. This connects the whole mechanism to the leg cranks or something, if I had to guess. And finally, these two things of completely unknown purpose. Okay, finally, let's take a look at B. Let's see here. Probably not that many different parts in this. Okay, so here's a gun. Decked out to look a bit like a rail gun here. Now here we have a tail gun. I mean, these are the ones that go on the back, right? And there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. No, wait. 9? Really? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, idiot. 8. Yeah, I figured it had to be an even number. Another one of these. So we've got 4 of these, although there's like 2 pairs. These smaller guns here. Unfortunately looking like, you know, very much like Zoids Wild guns, which means they have holes everywhere. So I don't know. I really wonder why they do that, like in order to not make them look too much like guns or something. It's another gun here. And B, this is some sort of forward-facing centered gun. So I guess the B stands for blasters this time. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to put this guy together and then we're going to check him out in action. That's what's going to happen. And I'll have lots and lots and lots of comparison shots for you so that you know how it stacks up against, you know, certain other Zoids whose name starts with a G. Before we do that, though, I need to show you guys these eyepieces. They're actually clear red plastic on top of silver, not the usual pre-painted parts, and frankly, it looks fantastic. Anyway, let's start with those comparisons. Here's the Omega Rex. I'm just doing this for a size comparison, really, and you can see the Grizis is a lot bigger. I also think its proportions are vastly less cartoony because the head isn't so disproportionately large, so that's another plus. Next, we've got the Grachosaurus, because that was the tallest one in the lineup so far, and as you can see, it still is. Unless you count the cannons on the back of the Grizis, in which case they're almost exactly the same height. Okay, now the classics. I know that's what you guys really want to see. This is my Zoidzilla, which you call Gojulus because you're wrong, and as you can see, it's a fair bit taller than the Zero Grizis. The general bulk of the Grizis kind of makes up for that, though. Next, we've got the Gojulus Giga. Apologies for having it in T-Rex mode, but I honestly can't remember how to switch it to upright mode because it looks dumb. Anyway, I think those two are probably closest in size and general bulk out of all the comparisons I'm doing here. The Deathsaur is a lot taller, of course. I'm doing this one because I get the impression the Zero Grizis kind of has the same role in the anime as the Deathsaur did in Chaotic Century, but ask me again in 2 years when I get there. And finally, the comparison that really needs to happen, because once you see the Grizis in action, it's pretty obvious that it's really inspired by the King Gojulus more than anything else. As you can see, the king completely towers over the Grizis. What immediately struck me when the first images of the Grizis came out, though, is how the tail on the King Gojulus looks kind of similar. I don't know, just something I noticed. But let's finally check out the Grizis in action, and I'll show you King Gojulus as well. So here we go. As you can see, the walking movement is nice and smooth and the tail swings without actually dragging on the ground, but the main attraction is this, of course. The weapon lights up as well, by the way. That just doesn't show up here because my photo booth is too bright. Okay, now let's see how that compares to King Gojulus. I will say that the way the Grizis stretches his back as he shifts into blast mode looks way more dramatic than this, but at the same time though, the light up eyes and most of all, of course, the scream more than make up for the stiffness of the movement. Alright, back to the shiny new thing. I'll shut up and let you guys check this out for a bit. So I'll get my criticisms out of the way first because I don't have many. Since this Zoid is so obviously based on the King Gojulus, the absence of a sound effect is really strange. The King G has this super weird mechanical contraption in it that produces the scream, and today this would be really easy to do digitally, and I really don't understand why they didn't do it. In terms of the overall design, I'm also not a real big fan of that hunchback. It's nice that the Grizis is so bulky, but I think a slightly straighter back would have looked better. And finally, I wouldn't really call this a criticism, but if you're planning on buying this for a younger kid, you might want to be there to help with the build. It wasn't fiddly or difficult, I actually had a lot of fun, but it's definitely a long and involved build, and sometimes you have to watch out for a lot of things at once to make sure all the moving parts work properly. At the same time, though, and this is me segueing into what I like about this Zoid, I was actually really pleasantly surprised by how much of the actual mechanics you build here. It still has that pre-assembled gearbox that does a lot of the heavy lifting, but you actually come away feeling like you know how everything works because you built it, which to be honest I can't say for the King Gojulus, for example. And really, as far as engineering goes, this is one of the best Zoids ever released from any era. There's really no denying that. The fact that it walks upright this smoothly without having to rely on wheels under the tail and that blast mode where the entire torso contorts backwards. I mean, whatever reservations you may have because it's a Zoids Wild model and certainly looks like one, you have to appreciate that, if nothing else. Personally, though, I think it also looks freaking cool. The detail all over the place makes it look almost like a Blue Zoid or a Republic model from the good old days. The clear red bug eyes look great, and it has some of the least cartoony proportions in the Wild line so far. And it's just, I mean, look, they made another Godzilla Zoid, and it works really well, and I just couldn't be more thrilled. Like I said at the start, this is an instant classic, and any fan of Zoids really should have one. And that's it for this one, folks. Like I said, I'll have a build video up for this guy in a couple of days, hopefully, if it doesn't turn out the footage is a bust. And then probably something about another Machining Krieger build I just finished, but we'll see. I will definitely have reviews of the next batch of Zoids Wild models as soon as they come out, though. And if you watch this one all the way to the end, well, first of all, give it a like, please. But really, you should subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those next reviews. And also, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I actually have a Patreon page, and, you know, getting all these Zoids shipped from Japan isn't free, so if you find my reviews useful, you know, maybe you want to help out, links in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.